Hi, this is Carlos Cousins, and the following Humanities passage question is asking for the narrator's or the author's attitude towards something in the passage as a whole. So for these, remember, there won't be a thesis statement, but you do have some topic sentences to look at. You really want to take a look at those. Keep in mind the general idea of what the conclusion and the introduction we're talking about. Pay close attention to the topic sentences. Let's see what's going on. So we're talking about the fact that we should be looking at life very differently than people generally look at it after their education looks like. We're confined to books, but even the best ones, the most classic, are read in written languages, etc., etc. We are in danger of forgetting the language which all things and events speak, so we should be looking at something else. Okay, and then the topic sentences say, I did not read books the first summer. I hoed beans. So radical departure of from what people, I guess, assumed that he would be doing as a student, it seems. And this is what he learned from just hoeing beans. And then, for the most part, I minded not how the hours went. Okay, so we don't really care about time. Here we go, time. This topic sentence deals with it. Of course, if you remember, that's great. We do talk about time a little bit in this paragraph as well. If you don't remember necessarily, that is okay. It's a very long passage. You're not going to remember everything. Go with this topic sentence here. It seems he doesn't mind how the hours went. Try to remember what the evidence for this was. This was sheer idleness of my fellow townsmen, no doubt. Blah, 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 blah. The quote about the Native Americans here. Um, so this, again, if you know what this is referring to, we're talking about the fact that the Native Americans um, conceived of time very differently. The Puri Indians, where they had one word for today, yesterday, and tomorrow. So they weren't as obsessed with making distinctions for different days as it seems like we are. Okay, so this gives you a general idea of what's going on. Now, is there despair at how quickly time passed from morning to evening? There's no despair here. He's telling us to do things differently, to try to emulate his actions. Will you be a reader, a student merely, or a seer? We should be doing things like he's doing them, like he's showing us we should be doing them, to appreciate life differently than you do just by studying what you generally are supposed to study. Thoreau allowed time to pass organically without much thought. It doesn't seem like he didn't put a lot of thought into this. It seems like he put quite a bit of thought into everything here. From the way that he compared himself to different peoples, to the way that he, decided not to do certain things. He decided not to read books, but to hoe beans, to get a different experience from everybody else. You can't really say there was not much thought there. Thoreau greatly valued his time, but did not anxiously mark it. Uh, Maybe that this one makes a little bit more sense in that we're saying um, it's hard to say that he really valued his time, but it does seem that he really appreciated what he did with his time. So maybe he did value that time a lot. Maybe he really enjoyed himself in the solitude and the stillness here when he was hoeing his beans. Uh, and it says he didn't mind how the hours went. You can kind of guess that he's thinking about the day progressing, etc. I'm going to go ahead and leave this unless I see something better. Thoreau enjoyed allowing time to pass quickly, but knew it was wasteful. Okay, well, then here this is definitely wrong. He's showing us how to, rather than being a reader and a student necessarily, also be a seer. He's showing us how to do things differently. It's not a waste of time. This is supposed to inspire us to lead a different type of, um, self-education, it seems here. Uh, so definitely that makes answer choice C the best answer here.